we're considering, first of all, the most important factor I think is height. And most ceilings are about 7 feet tall. So this one has got to be 7 feet. But our stand that we put underneath the tree is going to lift it up around 6 inches. So that means we're going to have to cut it. However, it is important to remember that you need a fresh cut within 2 hours for the water to go up and down the tree. Now, how do we know it's fresh? Well, there's a couple of ways of doing that. We can pound it on the ground, see if any needles come off. In this case, none have come off. And we can run our finger and thumb along a branch to see if any needles pop off. These were cut fresh. As a matter of fact, I can smell them. Now, balsam fir is growing on plantations as most Christmas trees are now. But it's the group of firs that last the longest. They last longer than the pines. And I don't see any spruce around here, although later I'll show you an Alberta spruce. People sometimes still buy spruce trees because of the blue color, in particular, the blue spruce. But that doesn't last as long as that will not last as long as the fir or the pine, and the fir lasts the longest. This is a Fraser fir. Here we have a Douglas fir. Douglas fir is a softer needle. You notice, very soft to the touch. I had a Douglas fir up until Valentine's Day just to test how long it would last. And to my surprise, it did very well, because I made a fresh cut at the bottom. Plus, that's another thing to consider. Your tree stand has got to accommodate your tree. So in this case, we're going to take off a few branches. Now, I'll show you later, I'll show you what happens when you have to cut it. Alright, we're looking at the stub of the, in this case it's a Douglas fir, but it could have been a pine because pines grow very similar. And we notice here, like, we've got some cuts off the bark. Now, when you cut the bottom branches, if for some reason you have a very thick stub like we have here, and it doesn't fit in to the tree stand, most people will shave off the bark on the side. How else do you make it thin enough to fit the stand? The problem with doing it that way is that you have no way for the water to get into the tree, because the outer ring, the last ring inside the bark, is the fibrovascular tube that carries the water up to the top of the tree. So that tree is not going to breathe. That tree is going to dry out much quicker because it's sitting in water, but it's not going into the tree. This is the Alberta spruce. And of course, some people still buy the blue spruce, and notice the very compact growth, and this is why people loved them in the past, but they certainly will dry out. Of course, this one's live. And so they sell it as a live Christmas tree that you can plant in your garden after Christmas. Requires a great deal of water, much more so than the cut tree. But you got to soak it up, and it makes it very heavy. But it's certainly worth the investment in your garden.